How can iridology help with my sickness? Very good question. Iridology can be a tremendous asset in discovering which part of your body is sick when you don't even know what it is. You might feel some pain somewhere, but you're not sure what it is, right? I'm going to show you a spectacular case that we did about 8 years ago. We actually saved this person's life, right? He didn't have a clue he was suffering. He felt unwell, lack of energy, insomnia, and all of that, but he didn't know for sure what it was. He went to doctor after doctor after doctor, and nobody could pick it up. But we did. We found out what it was. So that's a photo of his eye, okay? Now, that one there, that is the right eye, okay? Now, you'll notice something quite extraordinary. First thing, you'll see the eye basically is orange color. Orange, right? And then this is like a yellowish part here. And then all of a sudden, this dark mark right here. Very dark mark, as you can see there. So, straight away, I knew that that sickness that he had was stressing him. And you know I know that because these rings here are called contraction furrows, okay? And those rings are 1, 2, 3, 4, which means he was at 80% stress, which is very high stress. Some people got no stress, pretty rare, but some people got one ring. One ring's 20%, 2 rings 40%, 3 rings 60%, 4 rings 80%. Pretty close to major stress. He had 4 definite rings around the eye. And then here, he had a black mark in the pupil here, which means sugar issues. He was diabetic. He didn't know he was diabetic. Then I photographed the other eye. It was similar, but it didn't have this dark mark. Didn't have that. And I thought, hang on a minute, there's something strange here. There's something. And I looked at the stress levels here. It was high in this eye, which means he had a high level of stress in his right side of his body. Right side. And there it is. Here is the right eye. So ascending colon goes like that to here. And then transverse colon to here. And then the intestines come in. Guess what that was? I looked at that and I straight away, I said to him, I said, look, there's a dark spot in your eye. You know, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. There's something wrong. So I suggest you go and see an oncologist that has been very experienced and get him to do some significant test. And guess what? I was the one who picked it up, that dark mark, not the oncologist. I referred him to the eye oncologist. Now, in iridology, you've got to be very fair and honest. You can't tell if there's cancer. You cannot. However, you can see the signs that may indicate cancer. So I referred him to this oncologist, and when the tests were done, blood test after blood test after blood test, he had the start of cancer in his bowel, in his transverse colon about here. That is the transverse colon. He had the start of cancer. The cancer was actually 3 months old. Now the fascinating part, I notice I'm talking to a lot of top guys, the fascinating part is that cancer can manifest after 14 years. In other words, you could be sick with cancer and live with it for 14 years, and all of a sudden one morning you wake up and it's a bang, it erupts like a bit of dynamite. But it's much better to prevent the cancer by knowing you've got cancer. Right? And this cancer was 3 months old. It already exhibiting as a dark mark. Right? And I knew it was something like that. So they were able to treat him with the right treatment. Right? He didn't need chemotherapy. They gave him radiotherapy. And then I gave him the right anti-cancer foods, heaps of those around. Got to know which ones they are. And one of them was black seed oil, and the other one was colloidal silver. And within a matter of months, that mark disappeared and the cancer was healed. Was I happy for him? Yes. He was a top executive and he was thankful, and he's still alive. It's about 7 or 8 years ago, still alive, and no more cancer. So that's how powerful iridology can be.